What's up guys, Jonny May here and welcome to this week's quick tip where I'm going to teach you how to play Bossa Nova piano. This is a style of jazz piano that was made famous by the Brazilian composer Antonio Carlos Jobim, and of course his most famous tune is the tune Girl From Ipanema. In today's lesson, I'm going to teach you how to take the lead sheet for this song and develop it into the beautiful Bossa Nova style in 5 easy steps. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the first step in learning Bossa Nova is to take a lead sheet and learn your melody and your chords. So we're going to do that quickly here for Girl From Ipanema, and then I'll teach you how to develop it into this beautiful style. All right, Girl From Ipanema goes like this. Basically, I'm just grabbing, G, E, E, D, G, E, 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 D in my right hand. My left hand I'm playing an F major 7 chord. You see that written here in the lesson sheet music. Okay, so that's the first phrase. And then our G7. It's the same melody in our right hand. We just have a different chord, G, B, D, and F. These are called 7th chords, major 7 chords and dominant 7th chords. Okay, next chord here is a minor 7th chord. Right, G, B flat, D, and F. Melody goes F, D, 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 C. G flat is the next chord. That's E, C, 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 B flat. And then C is our final note here. Chord is F major 7. And then we go to a quick G flat dominant 7 chord. Okay? If you don't know these chords, we have several really great courses on this that teach you all of your 7th chords, the theory behind it, how to apply them to songs, and then exercises for them. But I do want to move you on and talk about the next step. Now here in step 2, we basically just played this. This is our melody and chords as I just showed them to you. They're just basically written out here in the lesson sheet music. But the next step is to stylize it. And the first step in turning a song into the Bossa Nova style is to first take our chords and spread them out in the left hand. And the way we do this is with what we call chord shells. A chord shell is basically when you take a chord like an F major 7 chord and you only play 2 or 3 notes from the chord. So a very basic chord shell would be that, F, A, and E. Okay? And so you can play it like that. This is called a closed position chord, or you can spread the notes out. You can put the A on the top. Okay? So this is kind of the first step, is to go through, after you've learned your lead sheet, melody and chords, is to play all of these chords using chord shells. All right? By the way, if you guys are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel here, hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this. All right, that's the first chord, F major 7. This is called an open position, F major 7. G dominant 7. I've got the root, the 7, and the 3rd of the chord. If you don't really see how this is a chord shell, you can play the G7 up there like that, and there's your 3rd and your 7th. Okay, B and D. We're just putting them down here on the bottom. All right. Next chord in this tune, and this is really nice. There's only like 4 chords in the song, so it makes it real simple. A G minor 7, we're gonna drop that B to a B flat, which is really nice. We don't have to move very far to get to this chord. That's a G minor 7, okay? That's the chord shell, root, 3rd, and 7th. G flat dominant 7, same thing here. We've got the root, the 7th, and the 3rd of the chord. Again, if you don't see this chord shell here, you can play the root position chord like that. Just spreading the notes out. And then our F major chord, which we just played. And then our G flat dominant 7 chord. Okay? If you guys want to do a deep dive on chord shells, we've got several courses on this topic. But what we want to do is that we actually want to practice playing these chords just on our left hand, jumping up to each of these chord tones. We call these, by the way, guide tones in the left hand. These 2 notes here, the 3rd and the 7th, guide the chord to the next chord. So just kind of practice this, right? G flat dominant 7, F major 7, and then your G flat 7. Okay, real simple. So kind of practice that, jumping to each of these chords. Now that you have the chords, this is the most exciting part. We're going to take that left hand and transform it into that Bossa Nova feel. Using this bass to chord approach, but it's all about the rhythm, okay? So check this out, guys. We're gonna hit that F on the bottom, and then instead of playing the chord, we're gonna break it up, root to chord. We're separating those notes, and then we grab a quick 5. This is the 5 of F, because we're playing an F major chord, and we go back to the F, okay? So root to chord, 5, 1, 2 chord. The rhythm is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? This is going to be our driver for that right hand bossa nova, and we'd call this a left hand accompaniment. This is something you could use as well. If you had a singer singing your melody, you could just lay this down underneath them. Okay? So we're going to go through the chords. Our G7 chord, it's the same thing. Okay? Basically root, 7 third, 5 1, 7 third, and this is that D going to G. Okay. By the way, if you guys are enjoying this lesson here, we have a full-length course on Bossa Nova where we do a deep dive on the lead sheet, go into way more detail, talk about soloing. I'll put a link to that below. Next chord is G minor. Okay. G root, same pattern here, F and B flat. That's the 3rd and 7th. Now we got to adjust here to our G flat. Same thing there. And then back to F, 5, 1 to F, okay? And then we've got to get back to our G flat, we go 5, 1 to G flat, okay? Now, there's something very important to know about the left hand when you're playing Bossa Nova, and that is whenever your chord changes, you're going to use the 5 of the new chord. For example, on this F major chord at the end, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, you see on that and 1, we use the D flat to set up our G flat 7 chord. This is a very important technique you want to be able to use when you're playing different styles of piano, is to set up your new chord, okay? Now, once you have this left hand, kind of get a nice flow here. We're going to talk about the right hand in a minute. We're going to talk about those beautiful harmony notes you can add, those beautiful fills you can add. So much fun stuff you can do with this style of piano, all right? So that's going to be your left hand. After this, you can go ahead and add that right hand melody. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 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 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, it's sounding so nice. All right, the final step here is to make that right hand a little bit more interesting. This is step number 5, and the way that I like to do this is by adding harmony and fills to this melody. So let me show you exactly how I do this. This is what it's going to sound like. Okay, so how do I choose which harmony notes to use? Well, basically I'm taking my chord, like an F major 7, and I'm just doing this rocking technique. I call this interval rocking, where basically I take a chord, like an F major 7, and I use kind of 2 interval positions. This is like a 5th, and this is another 5th interval, and basically you can rock the notes of the chord like that. So it's an F major 7, I got the C on the bottom, A on the bottom, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. On my G7, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do like this, okay? This is my 3rd of my chord. This is my 9th. This is called a chord extension. If you want to learn more about chord extensions, you can over at Piano with Johnny, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G minor 7, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Oh, this is so pretty. This is a G minor 9 chord. Basically, I'm using chord tones, 3rd and the 5th, but I'm using a little 9th there as well. Again, we love this 9th extension. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. This is the 9th of a G flat dominant 7 chord, and then we're going to come down to the 7th there, the E, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then our F major 7, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, what am I doing here? basically I'm coming down a beautiful G dominant 7 chord. This is called a rootless voicing. It's a really beautiful way of playing your dominant 7th chords in jazz. E flat, B flat, A flat, E. I roll it down, okay, and you can come down E flat, D flat, C, B flat. That's kind of the run. All right. So the final step here, now that you have the arrangement, is to play it with the backing track. This backing track is downloadable at Piano with Jonny. I'll put a link to it below, and here we go. This is Hands Together. Alright guys, this concludes this week's quick tip, and if you enjoyed this lesson, I want to encourage you to check out pianowithjonny.com. We have over 700 step-by-step lessons in Latin jazz, jazz swing, jazz ballads, theory, technique, improvisation. It is the full learning platform for all playing levels. Also be sure to check out the Piano with Jonny membership. This gives you unlimited access to our entire course library. Plus you get to be part of our live monthly events, including our live monthly Q&As where you can ask me your practice questions. We do live monthly workshop lessons. We do weekly challenges for our members. We do student assessments where you can send me a video of your playing and I will give you personalized feedback. And we have a ton of fun. So go check out Piano with Jonny and I'll see you in the next lesson.